Hello, everybody on the stream. You're just gonna get me here for the first 10 minutes because I called Cass and she slept through her alarm. So I think she woke up a minute ago. So you're stuck with me until she's done getting ready. So I hope that's cool. But how are we all doing? Well, I'm doing well. Good morning, everybody. It's so weird to do a live show again for Wyverns and Words. I feel like it's been an eternity. Like, I know it's only been 2 months. It's been, yeah, because we did one in June. Yeah. That was a long time ago, honestly. But I'm super excited to talk about the Poppy War with you guys. I know Cass would say she was excited too if she were here now, but you know, what can you do? Or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Hope everybody's just doing great today and is ready to have a good chat. Is anybody doing anything fun this weekend? Saturday morning here for me, so the weekend's just starting. Although I only have class 2 days a week, so technically it's been the weekend for me since like Thursday, which is nice. But I've done nothing, so you know, what can you do? Been at work, now I'm sitting in my pajamas. Love that. The post work, like putting on some comfy clothing, that is just unparalleled, honestly. The chillest weekend because it's a bank holiday weekend. Nice. It's 4 p.m. here in Scotland. Well, good late afternoon to all the people in the UK. Or maybe it's early evening for you. Ooh, okay. Doing my dishes and finish the Poppy War, working on my dissertation. Good luck on your dissertation, my God. Been doing readings for class. Lillian, I also have a bunch of readings for class that I have to do that I am not going to do this weekend, so yeah, it's fine. Has anyone got such a hangover after Heartstopper? Honestly, yes. Like, after I watched the show, I was so sad that season 2 was over, but it was so good. Working on my reading journal for September right now. I just did my reading journal theme for September yesterday. No, 2 days ago. I did it, and I love it so much. It's so fun. I'm just so glad I can use my fall stickers again. Working on a commission and cleaning my frog's tank. You have a frog? That's so fun. I want a frog. They're so cute. Baking my brother's birthday cake. I love baking. I haven't done any baking in a while, which is kind of sad. I guess the last one I did was for my Summerween vlog, but it's been a long time. Well, it sounds like we're all having a pretty chill weekend. I'm definitely going to have a pretty chill weekend. I'm filming a 24-hour readathon right now, so I'm kind of just reading all day today, and it's going to be really nice. Excited to set up my reading journal for September and going dark academia theme. So excited. I love the dark academia aesthetic. Like, I'm not a huge, I don't know. I was going to say I'm not a huge fan of dark academia books, but to be fair, I've only read The Secret History. So I feel like I need to read more to say that I don't like it, but I love I like light academia, which I feel like has similar vibe, just like a different color tone almost. So I feel that. Hi, Katie. Hello, everybody who is just now joining. We're all just kind of talking about what our plans for the weekend are. Mine include just reading, so. Oh, that's so fun. I love this. I'd love to visit Wales. Sounds pretty. I feel like I look so short now. Is anybody reading anything fun right now? My boyfriend are rewatching season 1 of Heartstopper, but in Swedish. It's so weird, but still so good. Well, that's good. I also rewatched season 1 as soon as I finished season 2 because it's been, I think I watched it twice when season 1 came out, but I haven't watched it since, so had to give it a little rewatch, and it's just so good. Currently reading My Dark Vanessa. Very not very fun. But then Ice Player Barbarians for Balance. Sorry, that is like the... I feel like those books are just on completely opposite ends of the spectrum, and it's so funny. Oh, got it. Okay. Reading Morning Star by Pierce Brown. I've heard a lot of good things about Pierce Brown. I feel like I should read... He does sci-fi. Maybe? Is that right? Maybe I should read this at some point. Finished Kiki's Delivery Service this morning. I just got Kiki's Delivery Service, and I cannot wait to read it. Tomorrow. That's another one that I really want to read because like everybody loves it. Clockwork Princess, as you should. Currently reading The Count of Monte Cristo. Tia, good luck. I really want to try reading The Count of Monte Cristo because so many people love it. It's just so long, so good luck. Legendary, Belladonna. I really want to try and pick up Belladonna this fall because it seems like a good, I think like kind of gothic read. I really want to pick it up. Ivanhoe for Class and Unravel Me. Again, very different vibes. That's just so funny. Rereading Pride and Prejudice. Oh, that's so fun. Current read the book. Asriel. I don't know what that is. Red Rising is like Hunger Games in space with capital children instead. That is interesting. That's an interesting way to describe it. Well, if you guys want to know what I'm reading, I have it right here. I'm currently reading All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the 3rd book in the Natural series. I'm obsessed with this series right now. It's so good. And I found this book at the thrift store the other day, just like randomly. And I was like, that's perfect. Because I'm literally like, this was the next book that I needed to read. It was weird, but I was excited about it. But it looks like you guys are reading some fun stuff. A lot of stuff that I really want to read. So you'll have to let me know what you guys think. I'm in such a reading slump and nothing helps. I'm so sorry, Lynn. I hate being in a reading slump because, like, reading is basically all I do with my time. So when I'm in a reading slump, I'm like, how do I define myself by these hobbies if I can't do my hobby?
Hello.
Hi, Cass.
So sorry, y'all. How's
it's all
everyone?
Good. We're just having a nice chat without you.
Nice little chit chat. It's always when we
chit-chat.
stream on my channel that I'm just like not here. Like, what's up with that? I gotta
for your own stream. You're doing the best you can.
Making Katie do all the work for me, you know?
No,
it's great.
It's all good. I like having a casual little chit chat.
A little chitter chatter.
Little chitter chatter.
Little chitter chatter.
So, how are you doing this morning, Cass?
Well, I woke up like 9 minutes ago and then scrambled to get ready. So, like, are
honestly,
there any thoughts in my brain right now? No.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I've just been having trouble sleeping. So that alarm that went off did not exist for me.
Hey, no
Katie
judgment
calling
here.
On the other hand, I was like, what?
Well, it was like 10 and she's had it so tired. I was like, oh no. Oh no.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm faking all of this energy. I'm like exhausted.
Yeah, I'd buy it. I think it's pretty good.
Yay. Oh my goodness. I hope everyone's doing well this morning. I hope someone actually had a morning, unlike me.
I've been up for like 2 hours, so I'm chilling.
I set my alarm for 8. Didn't happen though.
You know what? Sometimes you just need that extra 2 hours. It's essential.
You know, you just need that like wake up call that just gets you booking it out of bed.
Yeah.
Blood's a pumping, tell you what.
Woo.
Alrighty. Do we want to just jump in and discuss? Oh,
Hang
we have a visitor. I feel like no.
No.
Yes. Maybe. No.
I think Fritz is about to
I love
bark.
how you can see her like barely in the mirror. Did you say Fritz is about to bark?
Well, she started like wheezing. It's a it's a
Okay.
whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
She does that a lot, but I don't want her to do it
Fair
on my
enough.
bed.
Fair enough. Did we want to jump in and start discussing our book?
Yeah. So, what did everybody rate The Poppy War?
I did give this 5 stars. I read it last year, so it was a reread, and I love it. Love it so much.
I gave it 4 stars. I love the awkward waiting time.
There they go.
All right, 5 star, 4 star.
DNF, 4.
8.75 to 4. So the consensus seems to be pretty high.
Yeah. Which is fair. I saw some Discord in the Discord about like giving lower ratings because they didn't like Rin like the decisions they make, and I'm like, don't continue the series then. It only goes downhill from here. Oh, we got a 2-star. Interesting. Another 2-star.
But they're in the minority.
They're self-aware. That's like, I understand it though, because like I definitely understand that this book is like not for everyone, especially with like the amount of dark elements that they hit again the second reread. I was like, whoa.
There were some points in this book where I was like, I'm not reading the rest of this paragraph. You can't make me.
For sure. Did you have a favorite scene or a favorite moment?
I really liked the bit where Rin and Katai went back to his like where his family lives for like their little really short-lived summer break that they had. I thought that was like it's kind of nice. I was like, oh, it's like normal college kids doing normal college things.
And it was so like cute how Katai didn't realize like how rich he was, and Rin was like, "Whoa,
y'all got real food here."
And it was a cool moment too because it kind of like showed just like how different their upbringing was, and like how she kind of was like, if I was born like somewhere else, I could have been a completely different person. I could have been training to go to Singard my whole life, like most of these people have.
Yeah.
I think one of the most I think the one thing that like held me back with this book, and it did last year too, was just like the long chapters. I'm just not a fan of. And I'll say that. Like, I love this book, but sometimes some of these chapters I'm like, can we just let it end? Like, please.
Just chop it up a bit more. Because I always feel like the short chapters, they just make me feel like I'm flying through a book. But
there's gaps in like each chapter, like scene changes where she could have ended the chapter, but she just doesn't, and it just keeps going.
Just keeps on going. The suffering continues in many different forms.
In many forms, absolutely. I think Rin as a character is very interesting because you get to see kind of the choices she makes and like kind of the two opposing forces that she has, like little devil and little angel on her shoulder, between like is it Atlan or Alice?
Alton?
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Clearly. And then Jiang.
I listened to the audiobook when I read this, so I got
so you know how to pronounce everything?
Yeah.
I'm like trying to remember the names and like spell it out in my head.
I got you.
Thank you. Because her mentor was keeping her very like, find peace with yourself, like learn about everything, but don't weaponize it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, bitch, don't listen to him. Like, what's the point if not to like kill people with it?
Let's go. Like, just let's go.
Yeah. it was really interesting too to see, especially like after a reread, to kind of see the exact moments where like certain decisions then lead up to how her character ends up. So I hope that if y'all did enjoy this series, you do continue it. It does definitely get worse before it gets better. And does it ever
Does
get
it get
better?
better?
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Who's to
Yeah,
say?
I kind of liked Rin as a character. Like, obviously, some of the decisions she was making, I was like, I don't know about that one. But obviously, it's rough times out there. So, like, what do you really want her to do? So
And
while
she's
there weren't things
only
that,
18 by the end of the book.
yeah, like thinking about just how young she is and like the situations that she's been put in and like the things that she's had to see, like, you know, maybe it makes sense that she would do that, even though they weren't what I would choose for her to do.
Right. And that was, I think, something that I kind of enjoyed was like seeing a character not necessarily make the correct decisions or like good moral decisions. I
Yeah.
do love that she is morally gray and you kind of get to decide for yourself which side you get to be on with the decisions that are being made, but also remembering that this is war and that like some sacrifices do need to be made and like it's just like a whole it's I don't know. It's sad. Like it's really sad.
Yeah, but the discussions it has about war, like throughout the book, are also just really interesting as well. Because, like, you know, obviously everybody thinks like what they're doing is right, and that's probably also how Rin feels about the decisions that she's making. But like, you could look at it from another viewpoint and be like, oh, well, that's not good. So I liked that aspect of it a lot. I liked the war elements. I think there was a little too much like politicking going on for like what I like in my fantasy, but I appreciated the elements. I just didn't love them.
Yeah, the politic thing does make sense though, considering like what this is drawn from. It is very like definitely like a political war. And that is just like also so frustrating to see when you have one common enemy, which was the Nikon.
Mm, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
remember that
yeah,
one.
it starts with an N and it has a K in there somewhere. Like that is their common enemy. Like they are literally trying to invade and take over your country, and yet they're like squabbling within themselves with like the land. And I'm like, why can't you just like bring yourself together like you did years ago and like fight your common enemy to like win this war? But
Yeah.
instead, they're just too worried about thinking that their own people are going to double cross them, which is like valid. But still.
I really liked not liked because like I don't know if I'd say like that, but the fact that it was I let not like I don't know how to say it. I enjoyed the fact that this was like actually pulled from events in history. I think it was really interesting to see how R.F. Kuang used that and like kind of developed it into this fantasy story while still like maintaining the elements of like the actual events that happened. I thought that was really smart and I really liked how that was written into this book.
I really like the subtle fantasy elements of this. Just
Mhm.
because I don't know what it is. I do really like a lot of like historical fiction, and I know this isn't technically historical fiction, but like you said, it is drawn from like a lot of like real world things. But then also like weaving a subtle fantasy element into it. I enjoy that mix quite a bit.
Honestly, I feel like this does read like historical fiction. Like if you were to take the fantasy elements out of it, be like, well, which I
Stoics.
thought was cool, and I liked that.
Yeah.
The
One thing
fantasy
I do
elements.
wish. No, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was about to like pivot topics. Like,
Oh,
no,
okay.
keep
I'm not
going.
forgetting topics. I was just gonna say, I think the fantasy elements were kind of confusing. Like to me, I didn't know what was going on half the time. But that's all that I was gonna say.
I feel like by book two, if you do continue it, it finally like you understand it. Because that was me on the first read. I was like, what is going on?
I was like, you just
What
take
is
this, you know, just
what is
smoke some crack,
happening?
and then you have these powers.
I mean, essentially, yes. Like they just use the drugs to be able to like channel the gods and like
Yeah,
use their powers. But then the gods end up using them as a vessel, basically. So they have to
yeah,
learn how to control it. So they go crazy, like the one wind guy that they lit out.
yeah.
Yeah. It's great. What I was mentioning earlier was I really wish, like, I don't know, I love academy settings. And so I wish more of this book would have focused on the academy and getting to see Rin throughout the years, because we did get to see like detailed events at the very beginning of her year, and then kind of like in the big middle of like her first year. And then like suddenly she's year 3 and then the war starts. I think if this book focused more on her in the academy, like, and then stopped at the beginning of the war, I think the pacing of the next book would have been better. Because I will say, I think the second book, the pacing is horrendous. I'm pretty sure. From what I remember, I could be wrong, and it could be phenomenal, and I could have that mixed up in my head. But I remember the second book not being my like favorite of the 3, because it is a little slower. So I think if she spent more time at the academy, but also like she didn't know that she had a hit on her hands either. Like this was her debut novel, which is so impressive as well. For like that being a debut novel, I would have never guessed it.
Yeah, I don't think I would have guessed that this was a debut novel. Although I really, well, not although, but I also really liked the academy part of this book, and it was my favorite part of the book. So for it to like be cut short like so quickly, and then like, oh, we're going to war now. I was like, oh,
so jarring.
okay.
Yes.
I didn't even realize there was like a time jump, honestly. I don't think I caught it. I think I was like not paying attention when I read that part.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, sure.
It definitely, yeah, there definitely was one. And I don't think I caught it either until it was stated again. And I was like, year 3? I thought she was still a little freshman. Whoa, what's going on?
You know, back to like the historical fiction part, I think this is a good point to bring up. Like just putting new names on like historical events, but honestly, I feel like it was done. I mean, maybe I can't make this assumption because like maybe I'm not educated enough about it, but I feel like no, I don't know if I want to make that assumption myself, actually. It's a good point to bring up. I don't want to speak about it because like I don't really know enough about it, actually, but just something to keep in mind.
I know she's definitely done her research, R.F. Kuang, because she's majoring or minoring in Chinese historical something.
She's a very educated woman.
She definitely does her research, but again, like, it's a good point to bring up for sure.
Yeah. Like something just to keep in mind.
But also, what a way to be able to educate people on that aspect too, because not a lot of people are going to just pick up a textbook or like do a Google search about a war that they never like knew about. Like I never knew about the war that this draws inspiration from, or like if I did, I literally just I hated our history education here in Texas. Like,
no, I've never like no history class of mine has ever covered like
international.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I had like a European history class, but like what? Yeah. You know, maybe that's it. But like anything like further east than that, I don't know anything about it. So like through this book and like doing some researching like of my own, I've kind of like learned about it a little bit more. I knew a little bit like about the Opium Wars, but like not really what they were about. So I think this book gave me an opportunity to kind of look more into it. And while I'm not an expert, I at least like know about it now. So I think that was beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in my school, we had like a whole class. Like, I think I took 2 classes that were like specific towards Texas history. I'm like, how useless is that? Like,
really?
Yes, in middle school and in high school, I had Texas history. And I'm like, great, I'm so busy learning about one state in the entire United States that like I don't know anything that's going on like internationally. I did have a European history class as well, but nothing east, nothing further east either. And it's just
I might have had a Missouri history class in middle school, actually, now that I think about it, but
middle school makes sense. I don't think high school makes sense. I think I had one in high school though.
No, I took like US history and then AP Euro. Although my European history teacher sucked. He was so bad.
All of my history teachers, for the most part in high school, were like football coaches or like
he was the soccer coach. I was like, dude, get on the field. Get out of here.
Oh my goodness.
You learned about castles and Welsh history. I want to take a Welsh history class. Sounds fun.
Honestly, like, because I like history, I just don't like how, like, high school had taught history. Because it never was about the important things. It was always like, memorize these dates.
And recite them on command.
Yes.
Like, what is this
And it's
doing
like,
for me?
no, literally, what, like, how has that made us grow as individuals to, like, know when Jamestown was founded?
I want R.F.
I
Kuang
don't
to be
even
my
remember.
history teacher.
Huh?
I said I want R.F. Kuang to be my history teacher.
Right? I think something that you had actually mentioned in your vlog that I quite enjoyed as well was it wasn't always like, I mean, a lot of this book was very heavy, serious topics, but then you still had Rin acting human and acting like a child. Well, I mean, she's 18 by the end, but like a child basically,
Yeah.
like coping with humor and like that sort of element, I think was nice because I think it helped you connect with her character and the other characters as well, being like, okay, so they are a person. Like, yes, they had completely different upbringings than Rin, like Kate and Venka and them. Like, yes, they're very disattached from like what Rin had to go through, but then it also makes you respect Rin a little bit more for like how hard she worked to get to where she was in her life. And I
Yeah.
loved the humor from Rin. And I think that's the element that helped me connect to Rin as a character was like the little bits of like humor sprinkled in there.
Yeah, I don't think I really fully connected with Rin as a character, but I think like the bits of humor, they help to humanize her. And I think if they weren't there, I really wouldn't have liked Rin as a main character, but since they were, I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of funny. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
As the books progress, I definitely get further and further away from like connecting with her,
Yeah.
but it's I love her character arc, but I hate it at the same time.
Well, that's not
It's
good.
it's so unique from anything I've read. It was really interesting her relationship with Atlan too. I think that was something that confused me a lot in the first book, where I thought they were like trying to push a relationship and like romance, and I was like, what is going on? But
Honestly,
then
that's where I was going.
it's almost more like mentor slash like someone she wanted to be, like that is who she wants to be, that's the glory she wants, like she wants to be Atlan, and to kind of see that love for him and like the envy of like wanting to be versus like an actual like romantic, because it felt like it was set up as like a romantic thing initially
Yeah.
before she joined the psych.
I was honestly concerned that's where I was going. I was like, I don't want that. Like in this war
Yeah.
or in this book, I don't need romance.
Yeah. What did we think of Atlan's final? Were we expecting it? Were we shocked? Did we think it lined it up with like his character?
To be honest, it's been a few weeks since I read this book, but I think I was kind of surprised. Made a martyr out of himself. I was like, all right, sure.
I just didn't think that R.F. Kuang would have killed off a character that became as prominent as Atlan was, especially since Tyr, I think the original site commander, had died off earlier in the book. I thought we were gonna get more of Atlan trying to figure out how to like lead the psych. I didn't think it was suddenly was gonna be like, all right, Rin, it's on you.
Like, you got this. I feel like I don't think I really felt anything like when he died, to be honest. Like I didn't feel any connection towards him as a character. He was kind of just like part of Rin's journey, but like I didn't really care about him as a person, to be honest.
Yes.
So when he
Okay,
died,
no,
I was kind of
I
like,
felt similar.
okay, bye.
I think the only character I think I would have been like newer character that I would have been, well, if Kite got hurt in this book, I would have been like, no, Riot. And then the little psych bomb dude. What is his name?
Oh
Ranka?
yeah, like the little 12-year-old.
Oh my gosh. If he got hurt in this book, I would have absolutely just rioted.
We ride at dawn. What do you want to say?
A lot of people. Hello? Goodbye. a lot of people are agreeing that like it fit his character, but it still was unexpected, which I think is a good balance. Which I think a lot of elements in this book were things that fit, but like I was never expecting.
Yeah.
Is it the Menace or Fritz?
It's Fritz. She's stopped
Okay.
heaving, so she can come back in. You would have thrown my book into the fireplace if the bomb guy had died.
And this is a good point here with talking about Alan. I forget that you can show comments. You did that earlier, and I was like, oh my gosh. Oh wait,
Like,
can
oh my
I
god,
do
you
that?
do that? Honestly,
I think it was through Rin that kind of humanized him, but he had just been like what he had gone through. Just I feel like didn't give him a human experience. So Rin interacting definitely did humanize him, but like just all the shit he went through and the pedestals he was placed on and like how they
yeah,
weaponized him made him so far from human. So it was cool to see like the small human moments that Rin caught him in, or like the arguing. It kind of also developed like Rin's character and Rin's opinions on things. Kate giving Rin a reality check near the end was also a slay. I love Kate.
Katai in
I think
general
he's
is
one of my
just
favorites.
playing. He is my favorite character.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to know if anything happens to him, honestly. To be honest, he seems too nice to make it through the war. I don't have much hope.
I'm keeping silent.
Yeah, no thoughts from Cass on this situation.
No thoughts from me.
I'm gonna go Google it later, honestly.
No.
Yes. I have to know. Because if
Read the series.
I'm not gonna read the rest of the series. If he
I'll
makes
text
it
you after. I'll text you after.
Okay. Thanks.
Oh my goodness. Trying to see if my notes I have anything else.
I have like no notes on the book itself. I did like research into the like the actual events that inspired this book, but like the book itself, I got nothing.
Well, I was reading a library copy, so I couldn't annotate it again. But then I dug in my storage unit, unrelated. I was looking for Akatar. I dug in my storage unit for 40 minutes, and I found the rest of the series. So
Nice.
now I have my copy with all my original annotations that I'm going to flip through.
So lovely.
I was going to do that before the live, but someone woke up when the live was supposed to start. Most of my notes are literally just like quotes from the book. Or Rin punching someone 40 pages in is iconic. Like, I think that's the moment I fell in love with her character. I was like, yes, you punch him across the face.
Was that what's his name? What's that dude's name?
Neza?
Yeah. I was kind of sad when he died. He died, right? A lot of people died.
A lot of people died. I think so.
Yeah, I was kind of sad.
Yeah, because he was stuck in the gas, right?
Maybe. He got his semi-redemption arc and then he died.
Yeah. I did really like that scene when they're like fighting back to back and like
I thought that
defending each other, like when the Sin Guard was being invaded. That was such a cool, like, it was cool because like the warlords couldn't put aside the politic aspect of like people, but the second like Sin Guard was being invaded, Rin and Neza put aside their entire like 3 years of hatred for each other and like teamed up. And I think that was like hope for like the younger generation of like if they take over as warlords, like maybe they can win the war.
Well, not anymore. May he rest in peace. I feel like when Rin and Neja were looking for the little girl, it's painfully obvious that the little girl was the beast. Like, yeah. When they saw the little girl in the car, I was like, run, get away from her. Like,
especially after like the detailed explanation of like, okay, we'll be fine because it's gonna look like innocent and we'll like know, and so we'll be all good. And then it's just like,
you see little girl, they're like, oh, we must protect you. 3 seconds later.
I love how they caught like the increpancy in like the story of like, I was with my brother, I was with my sister. I would have never caught that. I'd have been so scared out of my mind looking for this like creature to be like, wait a minute, you said you had a brother, not a sister.
Be like, oh shit, my bad. And he just walked away.
I would have just been like, yeah, just fucking so traumatized. They don't even know what gender
Honestly,
their sibling
yeah.
is.
I think,
Yeah.
like, as I was reading it, I think I caught it, but like, obviously, if I was in that situation, I would have been. Actually, I probably would have been dead. 3 seconds in, would have been a goner.
Yeah. No, same. So since I thought a lot of the twists were painfully obvious, maybe I'm just dumb. Or also this was a reread, so like I don't remember all of my like initial reactions, but I also like not trying to predict anything in books because I think it's more fun when like the twists are twists for me versus like, oh, I saw that coming. So
Yeah. I don't remember what the twists were, but I think there were a few that I was like, yeah, we know.
The twists only get better throughout the series if you liked it. I'm just saying.
I think I'm too
I really hope like a lot of you continue this series because I want to know y'all's thoughts on the rest of the series because it's definitely a top series of mine for sure, and I think it gets stronger as the series. Other than I don't know, I just remember the pacing of book 2 not being the greatest, but
Other than that, I think eventually I will continue the series. Well, actually, I need to figure out if Katai dies first, and then I will continue the series. Actually, I'll probably continue it either way. I just need to like mentally prepare myself, and then I will continue the series at some point. But like,
I feel like here's the thing, Katie. There's like worse things in this book than dying. Okay, like
does he get tortured?
I'm not gonna spoil anything.
I'll
I'm
look it
just
up later.
saying
I'll
I
look it
feel
up
like
later.
there's a lot of things that go on in the series that are worse than dying.
Still, I
I'm
just
just
like
gonna
grimdark fantasy is really not my thing. And like that was
it's a
the only
lot to
reason
handle, like just emotionally and mentally.
I'm like, I don't want to be emotionally scarred from a book. I read to have fun, not to be like traumatized. But like I understand that like is the point of the book. But also like if you read for enjoyment, then it's really just up to personal preference.
That's fair. I don't know. It's just interesting to see how different authors depict like war because like the tones of like the Akatar War are so different from the tones of like the war in our Kuang books.
Akatar War is like nothing.
I love this.
The train wreck goes. See, like I am intrigued to see where the rest of this series goes.
It just feels like an investment because they are very long books and the long chapters don't help. So it feels like you're reading like forever.
Yeah. Like, is this the shortest book in the series?
I'm pretty sure. The second book, yeah, no, this is definitely the shortest book. Yeah. The defeated, yeah.
I mean, this one was already so long. Like, the audiobook for this was like 20 hours long, and I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, there's a lot. I feel like, yeah, there is a lot.
But it definitely covered a lot. Like, the pacing for it being like a pretty long book was pretty good, especially considering it cut the Academy time short and it was like war.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good.
Yeah, I will say I'm still sad about that because I just like love her time in the Academy so much, and I wish we got more details. But also, like, I could just read the name of the wind to like quench that thirst for Academy setting.
Yeah.
I feel like the big trauma chapters felt odd to me because it felt like it was a trauma dump and then moved on. Yes and no, I think, because I think the characters were definitely affected by the trauma that they went through. But you can only linger within that for so long. And then you
like
have to move on because war. You have to make the next move. And I think that's like almost like the sad thing about it is like these characters don't have time to grieve or like sit down and be like, what did I just go through? Like let's reflect and let's heal together. Instead it's like, all right, we have to kill more people. We have to make more decisions that are going to like change the entire fate of like the country and the landscape and make decisions that they hope are correct or that they think are right. So I think it is supposed to be jarring to where it's like, okay, all these characters just went through some like mad shit. All right, now they're back on the front lines. Let's move on.
And it is really sad, but I feel like that definitely was the reality of like what it's like to be in a war like this.
And I think one scene that like really, really stands out to me is when Neza and Rin are like having a conversation. And it's just like small talk, but they're like definitely like a small like skirmish goes on, but then it turns into like a bigger battle. And then I think that's the scene when Neza gets all gassed out. I think is that? I don't remember. But it was like that very I think I wrote it down. Hold on. Yeah, it was between the gassing of the city that they were in, where they were just having a small talk conversation, and then suddenly like shit hit the fan like that. It was insane, and that switch up was just like so jarring. But that's like the reality of like how war was for people. There was no like moments of like you never know when it's not planned, right?
To be fair, I don't read many war books, so really anything is jarring. That's fair. I don't read many war books as well. So like reading some of these scenes, I was like, okay. So all right,
That's
yeah.
why we were like trigger warnings, trigger warnings.
Yeah. Like I've read books like with war in it, but like none of them are like deal with it in quite the same way that the Poppy War does. So
When they were describing golden knees or golden the town that was like absolutely decimated, and when they were talking about like how everyone was like killed, that scene, I don't know how she wrote that. Like I don't know how she was able to like mentally sit down and like write that. It's just like it was so gruesome and so brutal and so sad, and I'm sure it was like that was straight from like things that happen in real life, and like just
no,
thinking about that is just
there were some
horrible.
like descriptions of like things that were happening that literally made me sick to my stomach. I was like, I can't. Like that's just I have no words. Like I can't even
Especially
fathom it.
it's hard even reading it when you know what's coming. And I think that's almost like worse is when you know what's coming, especially when they were like defending I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. The place that they were originally that started with a K. Kurd something. I can't think of like the entire name off the top of my head. But when they were defending that place and then when they captured the soldier who told them that that wasn't their main target, because like I've already read it. Like I knew that like Golden whatever was being like attacked like as they were defending this, and just like knowing what they were going to find and knowing what like Kate and all the other soldiers went through to like hide themselves. I was like, I'm not ready for them to like arrive at the city.
It's just still
Curdilin,
curdling. Yeah.
Curdilin.
Curdling. I think that's close enough. Yeah, just
I was a little bit better about like remembering like character names this go around, but like just
no, even I don't know the
so
names of places. I tried to look at the map like a few minutes ago, but I was like, I don't know.
I do really like the map. I want to draw the map.
It's a good map.
It's a good map. Solid
Good
map.
map. Yeah.
Good map. It's just so interesting too to see like the scale of the country that's trying to invade them compared to like their country.
Yeah.
I'm like, why if you just like bonded together, you'd be fine. If politics weren't involved, they'd be fine.
Like, why don't y'all just work together? Come on.
The power of team and friendship. Come on, people.
Haven't they watched a Disney Channel movie?
Apparently not. All right. Do we have any other final thoughts that we want to discuss? Any topics that we didn't bring up that you would like to?
I don't have anything else.
I don't have anything either. Gives people some time to type. I always like move on so quickly. I'm like, yeah, nope, we're good. And then someone will come in with like a long comment. And I'm like, oh crap.
Like, okay, bye.
But I don't know if y'all saw our announcement. I don't know if Katie announced it on her YouTube yet, but I definitely popped it in my Discord.
Should I go get it?
Apprentice
or
Sure, for visual references? Absolutely.
Ta-da! We're reading Assassin's Apprentice
by Robin Hobb.
Woo! I'm really hoping I like this book because I want to buy the rest of them. But I won't let myself.
I really hope I like Robin Hobb's works. I really hope so.
I know a lot of people really like her other series, like call it the Live Ship Traders series. So many people love that series, but gotta start with this one, I think. So
I bought the illustrated edition off of Amazon. Ooh. And if I like it, I'm gonna buy those paperback copies too, because those are also very nice looking.
This paperback. Like, it's just so cool. And I want to buy the rest of it so bad. But I've refrained. I've had this book for like 2.5 years, but I've yet to buy the other books in the series.
I've had the mass market edition for like 7 or 8 years, I feel like. I remember my parents bought it for me 6 years ago, I think. I want to say 6 years. And I was like, what is this cover? Because like the mass market paperback cover is not it. And then I thought that the book title was Robin Hobb because the author's name is bigger than the title. So I thought it was like Assassin's Apprentice was like the series name, and then it was like Robin Hobb, and I thought it was like a play off Robin Hood. So like maybe I should have just read the synopsis, honestly.
Yeah.
But that is our book.
I've put this on so many TBRs. I'm glad I have like an actual excuse to read it now.
Like now you have to read it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people had said that in the Discord too. They were excited because like they have it on their TBR, but like where's the motivation? Where's the push?
Honestly, I think I put this on my like 2021 and 2022 TBR. I've put it on countless like monthly TBRs, but it's just never happened.
But it's happening next month. Woo. And that live show will be on the 23rd instead of the 30th because I am busy that last Saturday. So we had to, like,
on my channel.
On Katie's channel.
Yeah.
And if you're not subscribed to Katie, it is in the description. The link is in the description. I am tired. My
links are linked. Links are linked.
The link is down below. But I know most of y'all already are subscribed to Katie because she's the bomb. So
I would assume everybody here is subscribed to Cass. I can only hope so.
It is my channel. I would hope so. Alrighty. Well,
thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and discussing the Poppy War.
Thank you for being patient with me not being here on my own channel again. I think it just adds a little bit of unexpectancy, you know, because kind of like the Poppy War, things happen that you don't expect. So you were expecting both of us to be here, but I wasn't. It was all for the effect. Actually, it was planned.
It was planned. Even our phone call, the phone call that you guys didn't see, it was planned.
The phone call that startled me awake.
She was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
I literally was like, "Who's calling me? Shit, it's 10 o'clock. I'm so sorry."
Good times.
I was still in like deep sleep, so
I could tell.
Anyways,
okay. I hope everybody has a great Saturday and just great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys at some point in time. Eventually. Bye.